See, there's all kinds of complex things going on in the live streaming. Okay.
This stuff is crazy.
Yeah, all the tech is interesting. Okay. So welcome everyone to our live stream, and I just want to introduce everybody that's here. So welcome everyone to our live stream. Okay, now we're good. All right. So John, Jersey Art Productions, if you would just pan as we introduce everyone. So we have with us tonight PM. Say hi.
Hi, everybody.
And Justin. Justin is our season 2 winner, which we just saw the finale for. Yay! We have Casey Worcester.
Hello.
We have Alicia. And we have with us the season 1 winner, Molly Miller of Zesh Bradford. Yay! So I'm excited to have those of us who were actually able to come. Monet was not able to come. She does not live in New York. And she also has another meeting that she had to jump on. And today, let's all wish Ariel a happy birthday, because today is her birthday. So she also lives outside of New York, so she wasn't able to make it. And Devon just got out of a meeting, so he was not able to make it as well. And Natasha's in LA. She's doing her thing. It's Rosh Hashanah. So she is celebrating her holiday. So that's where all the other folks are. But I'm glad that everyone is here that was able to make it out. And first of all, I'm very excited to have met Justin and PM. This is the first time that we actually got to meet in person. And very happy, yeah. And after, when was the last time I saw you? 2018?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think it was the From Pencil to Production, the last event. And same thing with Molly.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see these two as well. After, what is this, 4 years now? Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's all chat about the episode. And I'm going to pass the mic to everyone. So we're going to start with PM. So it's been like almost a year now. You're seeing all of this over the last few weeks. You saw the final episode. What are you thinking? Is it bringing back fun memories?
It's definitely bringing back some cringe memories. I think overall the competition was really fun. I was in school at the time, so coming out of classes straight into the competition, my brain already scrambled. It definitely kept me on my toes. I can probably say I was probably gooped the most on the second season because I was just not aware that we could take pictures off the internet and use them. So I was struggling trying to draw, which is why I didn't have a second part to my jacket. And so I just had to make do with what I had. So that
we were very appreciative of you drawing.
I was like, let me quickly do this real quick. And so, yeah, so that was probably the biggest cringe moment. But everything else I enjoyed. And it was so good to compete with my fellow classmates, who I'm, again, also meeting for the first time since we started FIT. So it was so good to do that.
Nice. Okay, so Justin, you won.
Yes,
so what are you thinking as you saw the entire season?
The season was, amazing to relive, but I honestly had a hard time watching myself go through all that again because, I tell you, I could, the night before the show, I would study the last season. I would honestly I would think that you guys are we're going to do the last show. So I swear all the contestants were studying the last show, and we'll be like, all right, we know what we're going to do today. We're doing the marketing thing. So we're going to have the marketing thing. And then you would come to the episode just completely thrown off. And it was honestly just a bunch of anxiety going on because, I learned a lot, being on camera and like I'm not the social media guy that's like, oh, hey guys, let's go do this on camera. Like I'm just more of a low key guy, just like do my thing and I sew, like we'll do whatever. But it was really a learning experience to go through the whole thing and be on camera and have a whole spiel of selling a product and like thinking like trying to think on the spot.
Yeah,
it's really hard to think on the spot sometimes, especially when you're on camera and you don't know like what's being recorded and like you don't want to say the wrong thing or miss, like, so you're like triple thinking in your head before you're speaking, and it's just really a big learning experience, which taught me a lot till this day. Like I could talk to regular people on the street, like just off the whim of just having a conversation with people, which I had a hard time with before. So
well, that's good.
it was a big learning experience for sure. And we're still trying to tame the anxiety levels. Maybe I need a prescription or something. But this shouldn't be normal. I don't know. It shouldn't be normal.
And Pia, was there something else you wanted to say?
Oh, I was just gonna add on to studying the last season, because I was like, okay, I got my app ready, I got this, and then they hit us with the single mom, and I was like,
the single mom one had me going crazy.
I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know what this. I really was like, I really don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna come up with something. So yes, no, definitely studying last season was definitely a downfall for many
blessing and
other planning. Right. So like you're thinking, okay, yes, we got this, and then y'all completely hit us with left field, but it was good though.
Yeah.
Because you can't always expect everything to be the same. So to really turn it around.
And you all performed. Like you guys got it. So
listen, Tim's gotta make it work.
And let me say something real quick. Shout out to John for cutting out the parts that needed to be cut out. Because when I was watching these 12-minute to 20-minute video episodes, he definitely cut out the right part. There would be times where I'm just stuttering. I'm like looking into the camera, helpless. Like it's shout out to John. Shout out to the guy behind the camera.
all right, so Casey, watching this season and having been in last season as well, what are your thoughts as you relived this over the last few weeks?
Well, I think that it's always a pleasure to be a part of a give back, in a sense where you're giving what you've learned and what we've learned throughout our careers and our successes and our wins. And being able to push that on and pass that on to the next generation. I again have witnessed a young group of men and women. I've seen that growth even in 6 or 7 episodes, and that's empowering for us. A lot of the information that I would say, and as funny or as off key it could be, it was always something that I took back to work the next day and I implemented it right away. So as I was giving you guys tidbits of information or whatever comical they may come off, it was something that I was also making sure that I was replanning back into my own day to day. So and again, it's just seeing that growth from young men and women that empower me, and I hope that everything that we shared empowered you guys as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't have any comic relief at this moment.
Well, I wanted to start by saying 2 things. So I got into quite a few discussions about the single mom challenge. It was very controversial. And it was the whole thing of like, well, how specific are you being? And, we have rules, etc. And I really appreciate this arena and the show because we're able to, yes, laugh and joke, etc. But it is a business, right? There are rules, there are regulations, etc. And I'm glad that we're able to kind of guide with love.
Yeah.
I hope that that's how it was received because I know that a lot of the panelists, all of the panelists actually, certainly gave that. And then it's been really great to see the evolution of everyone. First season, second season, and just seeing how much they've grown in their career as well as personalities. I think that a lot of times in entrepreneurship. We don't talk a lot about the anxiety that can happen, etc. So, although Justin, every single episode, we saw that anxiety, but that's a real thing, you know. And we don't talk about it enough. So, I love this forum, being able to address it, and Casey, I love all of your comments.
Okay, so Molly, I want to ask you. I don't know if you've seen the whole season, but just coming and watching the evolution and the new people, like, how do you feel like just watching it again this last episode? Like, are you having flashbacks on that final season? How's it feel for you?
I think watching the finale, you can really see, yes, I'm having flashbacks. And one, even though it's a competition, it kind of reminded me, like, watching the finale, like, how just the personalities coming together and how all the contestants kind of just respect each other so much and inspire each other. And that is inspiring to me. And I think it's kind of like this, like, side thing in the beginning, like, oh, maybe we'll, like, get each other's number and, like, maybe be friends. But then, like, towards the end, it's kind of like almost like the biggest thing that comes out of it is their relationships with each other and with the judges. And yeah, it's great to see that that's, like, growing even more, I think, the connecting with each other.
Nice. Okay, so I have a question, and I'm just trying to bring up another video. So if you all see me kind of like doing other stuff, it's not because I'm not paying attention. I'm just trying to do like 10 different things at one time. But I have a very interesting question for everyone. So we had a contestant who was only in one show, and he was actually supposed to come back. But he chose not to. Fine, no problem. And we kind of like, well, Casey kind of spoke for everybody in that episode. It was just like, never mind. Well, on the second episode when I asked, does anybody have anything to say? And nobody said anything. But I'm curious if anyone does have anything to say now. Let's start with Pia.
Start with me. Did you find out with fried chicken and collard greens?
I'm gonna have to pass.
We're talking about specifically the first episode.
We're talking about Adaj.
The dude who quit. Right.
You don't quite remember him?
Adaj, he was maybe he just couldn't foresee the future. You know, like the first episode was really like left field for a lot of us. So, you know, thinking within like 30 minutes of a whole business plan and like, you know, like how we're gonna reveal it to the judges. Like honestly, like I thought I was gonna go home first day. So like it was a lot of pressure, and I can't lie. But I don't have too much comments on it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a good contestant, you know, but I wish we could have seen him like go on further for sure.
But the question is, episode 2, y'all got the announcement that he was not going to go any further because he quit. So the question is, what did y'all think internally when you were given the news that a contestant just quit after that?
He was on the wrong show. It was about fashion, not restaurant entrepreneurship. I mean, clearly he did that.
No, right. I'm not gonna lie. Like when we went backstage, like it was like I think me, PM, and like Caleb were in like a group chat, and we were just like,
oh, what's going on?
We were just like, I think we're safe, guys. I think we're safe for this episode.
We were like aiming for ETV. He was like Food Cooking Network. It was like,
So what I will say is that I, during the episode, to be honest, I felt that I was a little harsh, only because it was kind of the scenes, but I did make a comment towards the way that he was sitting. I did make a comment towards the way his demeanor as a whole. What I will say is that my reaction when I heard that he left was I was sad because I was hoping that experience would have propelled him to rise to the challenge, and that he decided to leave was sad for me. But I also felt that it was needed criticism, because the reality is that, and I said this last season, and I believe it this season, that this show can have anyone on the show, right? But we actually, all of the contestants are a minority in some type of way. And so, not that we're not able to accomplish anything, it's actually the reverse. But however, the way that the world sees us as a whole could be different. I'm not saying it is, I'm saying it could be. And so therefore, it's necessary to, if you're going to take a spot, then do it. And if you're not interested, then make a spot for someone else.
And I'll add to that because I think, in all seriousness, I don't really know how to use these things, but in all seriousness, there was two things and I think I even said it during the episode. One is it's all about delivery and context to your delivery, and then two, you never quit. So no matter how hot it may get in the kitchen, no pun intended, you don't quit. So take from that what you take from it, but again, like, it's all about delivery, and you always stick in there, and you don't quit, and that just speaks volumes to character for me.
Yeah, and I think the industry that we're in, or that we're trying to get into, all of us that have been in it, and then all of you who are trying to start your business, that's number one, and then also get into this crazy behind industry. Like, you can't just like say, all right, you know what, never mind. After a couple of people just say one or two things, like, first of all, you're going to get things wrong. Period, point blank. I mean, that's just going to happen. But then the other thing is, people in fashion, and I mean, this could happen in other industries as well. I don't know. I've been in fashion for all this time. But I feel like people in fashion are unusually harsh. I don't know why, but they're just very harsh. Or it's like they're very matter of fact. So, like, they'll tell you it looks like crap, and and then go on to the next thing, like they ain't just say that to you. You know what I mean? So it's like, with all the things that we were saying, and even when I think it got cut out of the episode, but we even were like talking more with him at the end of the episode, so that he could understand that we weren't just trying to be mean. That wasn't really what we were doing. We were really just trying to let him know that, okay, you didn't answer the question.
But he was bruised. I don't mean to interrupt. But even though after y'all softened the blow and said, hey, we're only giving you tough love or information to be helpful, literally the next day is when we got the email of him saying, quit.
Well, you don't have one bad interview and say, I'm not going to go out for another job, or one bad meeting and say, I'm not going to do another. Like, it's you get back up and you dust yourself off and go
try again.
Right. And the thing is that I'm not trying to dismiss his feelings of being bruised, but in the process of the show, when we've all kind of showed up, Casey's coming in from work, and like, we're all doing a whole lot of things, and you show your level of kind of respect and care for the work that you do and the work that we do by even just the way that you sit in the chair. And that was not present. And so there was a lot of love, and there still is, right? I'm not trying to dismiss that, but the reality is that I don't know a place that you can go to and show up halfway.
I don't know, but I'm going to dismiss it because we're going to pivot this conversation. Debbie Down. The last second episode.
Okay.
Talk about someone that won.
Leave
Someone
it to-
someone's here.
I'll leave it to Casey to bring it back.
It can be. I want collard greens, beans, whatever.
Okay, well, moving on. I want to know what's going on with everyone. And I have two videos from Caleb, who was not able to be with us tonight. And that was on us. We were having some technical issues with him being on the feed because he did want to be here. But I told him that we couldn't bring him on, unfortunately. So he sent us some videos, which I asked for, and I really appreciate that he did that. And then also Monet gave us an update. And Monet's update is, first of all, she's in Florida, and she's like, I'm preparing for a hurricane, so I can't send you a video. I was like, no problem. So she said, since being on the show, She Libra has appeared on the runway at New York Fashion Week, an independent film, and is also being promoted by an independent artist and brand ambassador. I took all of the advice into consideration. I am in the lab working on some new opportunities, and am grateful to have connected with such amazing fashion artists.
Congratulations.
So, all right. And then I'm going to share, and hopefully we'll be able to, we're going to have to mute ourselves, but I'll be able to share this video.
Spell check.
Share the video and play you what is going on with Caleb. Okay, so I need to mute me.
Hi, everybody. It's Caleb Brian Wells. A lot has happened since I've seen you all, so let's get into it. So, since From Pencil to Production, I have traveled all around the US. I've been working as a costume designer and production assistant for a costume design company in Dayton, Ohio, as well as working as an atelier artisan in Grand Rapids, Michigan, doing the patterning and sewing of couture gowns, which was amazing. And top of all the things that I've done for Caleb Brian Wells, I'm about to share with you all. Since the filming of From Pencil to Production, we have released 4 collections. Our first collection being Bad Touch, which was my senior thesis collection at FIT. From there, we moved on to Midnight Desires, which is the collection I presented during the last few episodes of From Pencil to Production, really focusing on sustainable sourcing as well as adjustable design. From there, we moved on to New Heights, which we showed during Miami Swim Week this past July. And from there, we moved into Mind Melt, which is a bit more structured and tailored while still incorporating those adjustable elements into our design. Since being on From Pencil to Production, I've been able to grow so much, but I would say that the information and the time spent with these amazing individuals has really allowed me to grow into the business person that I am today.
Okay, yes. So that was Caleb. He's doing quite a bit. He's doing very well. I'm happy to see that. I knew he would. Okay, so you two. Let's start with PM. What are you doing now? Are you still in school?
No, I'm done. So I'm currently done with school. I mainly did one semester in person because I felt like the whole year online was not enough, especially learning fashion design. So I took one semester to really kind of get that in class experience, and it was actually beneficial. And I was able to kind of start my career as a costume designer through one of my teachers, and so I've currently been working as a costumer on TV and film. I just finished Wu-Tang season 3.
Wow.
So I saw that, and my husband and I are big fans of the Wu-Tang show. And I saw something in your stories where you were talking about, that you were on there, and I was like,
Yes. It honestly, it was by word of mouth, and someone was looking for an extra hand, a production assistant, and I just happened to join on. And since then, things have been moving kind of fast, and so the hierarchy of becoming a costume designer is obviously start as PA and you work your way up, and so I've now started my new path as a costumer, and then hopefully working my way up to costume designer. But I can say I was able to create something that will be on one of the episodes, one of the main characters. So I was pretty excited that even as to just start off something like that to be on a popular show, it was amazing. So I just finished that, and I am currently getting ready to take 2 months off to do strictly nothing but designing. I'm working on everything from the business aspect, really kind of working on, and honestly using all the tools that I learned from the show, because from what all of you have said, it really did matter to know when you are presenting something, you really want to be able to sell that pitch and sell yourself 100%. And so I definitely want to make sure that I have all my P's and Q's ready. So when I am ready to launch, if anyone does come to me and ready to want to buy something, I want to be ready. I want to be able to have that stuff. So I will be spending 2 months nothing but designing, so I can be ready for Fashion Week in February. Yes, designing and merchandising. Designing and merchandising for 2 months, and hopefully you will see. Well, no, not hopefully. You will see me for Fashion Week in February. So yeah, be on the lookout. And I'll also be learning new languages. So that's another thing.
Nice. You have to definitely keep us informed when which episode it is, because we'll be watching. That was what got me through last semester. Every Wednesday I came home and I was like, "Babe, it's Blue Wednesday."
Yes. No, we are definitely wrapped. They have some extra stuff, so if we have so much clothes. So if you want a hoodie or something, let me know.
Are they 90s inspired?
Yeah, everything is 90s.
Yeah,
everything is from the 90s.
We coming over there.
Everything is from the 90s. So yeah, no, it's amazing. It'll be episode 8, so it won't be out for some time, but it's still amazing. So
we'll be looking for it. Yeah. That's exciting. Interesting.
For me, over this past year, I've really just been studying and really trying to learn marketing and really trying to showcase the lifestyle of the brand. It's being like a Ralph Lauren or like a Margiela. These are brands that are you could look at it and say, oh, that's Ralph Lauren, or that's Polo, that's Margiela. I'm really trying to I've really been just studying over the past year, trying to figure out what my brand identity is and who my customer is. These are people that just gravitate towards the brand. I've been really studying tailoring and suits and a whole bunch of things like that. But over the past year, I've really just been working on the collection and really just 100% going into how I want to market my brand, not even just designing, because designing is cool.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, it's not the hardest thing to me. I've always been able to just throw something on and people would be amazed, oh my God, that's so cool and stuff like that. Almost a little effortless, but selling it is a whole different story. Mm-hmm. So I've really been trying to figure out who my customer is and what my signature is. Like, do I do my stitching like this, or do I make all my lapels 10 centimeters, like very detailed, but trying to figure out what my aesthetic is and really just honing in on who my customer is, and I'm designing for them, you know?
Yeah.
So I've really been focused on marketing and
We're saying all the right things.
yeah, I've really just been focused on the image of it, not really the designs, because the designs will come once I know who I'm selling it to. But it's the design part is
Say that
almost,
louder for everyone.
the design part is almost the easy part once you know who you're selling it to, you know. So I really just have fun with making clothes and making stuff for myself, and you know, I guess that's who the customer is in a way. I'm selling it to myself, but finding more like-minded people, and you know, developing a whole feeling and something that people are happy to be a part of, or are proud to be a part of, like a cult. That's what I'm really working towards.
Yeah.
And that takes a little bit of time, but you know, that could also stagnate you a little bit because you're like thinking too much. But that's the direction I was going in.
What you're talking about is how most people are marketing now. Like that's the direction, is finding your tribe and, you know, finding your community.
Yeah.
You know.
Because at the end of the day, I don't want to just be selling to anybody that can afford it, but I want, you know, like people outside raging, or people like waiting in line for something that, like a Supreme, like it's a cult, it's a family. It's like, oh, you have a Supreme on, like, oh, look at my like Supreme thing, you know, like it's like a family. It's like, you know, if you know, like kind of a thing. So that's what I've really been, you know, studying and really honing all my energy towards over the past couple months.
Nice. Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, Casey, you know, you've been doing some new things. What are you doing?
I'm not a contestant, but well, first of all,
we're making our way down.
Justin, I will tell you, well, until you said Supreme, since that's our direct competitor. But no, I will tell you to. I definitely, know I owe you some mentorship time. But I think now it's all about time, because it may be behooving to you to come down to our offices and to spend some time in the lab with us, just to see how we bring product to market, and just kind of help you hone in on what that aesthetic for your own brand is. And we have a huge foundation called the KIT Foundation, that we bring in mentorships for students. That I'm trying to get Kent State students in the coming weeks. But individually, I'll welcome you to come in and spend time with my design teams, our fabric libraries. We have a mini atelier, but just to see how we kind of operate on a day-to-day basis. And since the wrap of the last season, I've moved on from Love Shack Fancy as the head of development, design development, and I'm now the head of design development for KIT brands, all divisions, and that's a major apologies why I didn't get a lot of time to mentor. I was going through my own career transition over the last 3 months, so a lot of change in my world. And, obviously, I have a huge team of people now, and it's just a lot of moving parts in my space. But yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I love. Obviously, you guys know I love this industry. I've been in the business probably 20 plus years. I'm not aging myself, but yeah, I'm always continuing to push forward and find that next move in my career.
Can I say one thing before you go? So we have a few comments.
Oh.
So B Hawk says, "No she by Sheree over here." Molly, who loves the housewives, she knows exactly what that is. And then Imogen replied, "No, she by herself."
Oh, it's a real thing.
Yes.
Don't y'all start reading.
NYD 333 laughed. And Yolanda, who is a very good friend of mine, she says, "This is wonderful." Okay.
Passing the mic to Alicia.
So for the past year, so my jewelry line, I have so many different entities. So my jewelry line, I'm happy to say, is in the African American Museum gift store on the show. And it's also it's also in the Redwood Gallery gift store as well. It's also in DC. And we will be in Arts Westchester gift store in Westchester, New York. So just definitely pushing the jewelry line forward. There's some wonderful bags I'm so excited about, but I can't talk about right now. And then also I'll be growing my consulting company. So Molly and I work together a bit. And to answer your question, Justin, what you're talking about is actually market penetration, and we talked about that some more. But just really expanding my consulting company, really talking to fashion designers, exactly what Justin was talking about. You have your product, and now you're trying to figure out who are you speaking to, what's specific about them, and then how do you make it saleable? Which me and Molly did a lot of work on that, so that you can make money while you're designing the fashion stuff. I'm now an FIT professor, which is that's been very rewarding, and I really have been enjoying really just exploring the academic space and just continuing daily to encourage other fashion designers to take a look at our story.
All right, and last but not least, Miss Molly Miller. She is season 1 winner, and she's a new mom. That was one of the last things we heard about. And so, what has been going on with you since then, and how's it been juggling mom and Zest?
Yes. So kind of on the side, but I'm a mom now. Got a baby. It's been challenging. I'll be honest. It's been challenging. Kind of still have a day job, but I did drop down to part-time, so that's been really good for Zest. Although I do have less money, but also babies need a lot of money. But I think it all happened kind of at the right time, actually, because what you guys all kind of gave me, all the knowledge you guys gave me from the show and all the feedback really helped me kind of focus in and streamline my energy on, building off of what works and just hammering me on those ideas of, okay, I know it sounds simple, but if this is your best product, this is selling the most, dig into that and build off that. And that's been such a gift. Because I feel like, before I met all of you guys and before I was on the show, I was much more kind of just throwing stuff at the wall, basically. And I think
They were working.
What?
And they were working.
So, some things were working. But some things weren't. But I think, you guys definitely taught me so much and really helped me learn that lesson. And I think that kind of came at the right time, having a baby and having less time, but just focusing it on the right stuff has been so helpful. And everything I feel like we talked about is really still fresh in my mind. That we had our mentor discussions, and I think also what you guys were saying before about just taking criticism and taking it constructively is so important and in the industry, and not to harp back on whatever episode 2, but just I think that the main criticism my season of me was just confidence, and you really need to stop apologizing and stop being so hesitant with everything you say. So I think about that almost every day. So I think in a good way. I think it's been pushing me forward. And in the past year, I wanted to say that you guys really helped me a lot. And I'm excited to keep growing Zest. I think, we launched, this collar is new, we have a new sandal. So we're still inching forward. And then, Alicia really helped me kind of rethink about my strategy and start refocusing on wholesale instead of just planning as many pop-ups as I possibly could. And especially when I was pregnant, that was starting to get really unrealistic anyway. I was like out there, like 7 months pregnant, like limping around, trying to get to these pop-ups. And Alicia was like, have you thought of wholesale? I was like, no. It just felt, some of those things always just feel like another burden just to even think about rethinking anything. You had a plan, you're sticking to it. So in so many ways, I feel like you guys opened my mind up. So thank you.
Sometimes you gotta learn how to pivot.
I have a question for Molly. Even though you're part-time, what app would you like as a stay-at-home mom? Because
what app?
yes, what would you like as a stay-at-home mom? Even though you still work part-time, what would you like as
An app?
Yeah.
an app or product? Because that was our episode 1.
A product
so-
or service. It doesn't
Product
have
or
to be an
service.
app.
Okay.
What would you like? Because we were
Oh,
definitely.
you were just okay, well, I will say that the past couple weeks, my baby's been having colds from daycare, and then when your baby has a cold, you can't send them to daycare, so I have had to stay home and take off work, and it's much harder than working, and I think I would need some kind of personal organizer, like a scheduler, but like tailored to mom life or parent life, I should say. I think that would be really helpful because I say, oh, I have mom brain, but like then when I hear other people say that, I think it's disgusting. I'm like, it's not real. But then it's it might be real because everything gets like mushed together, and you're trying to keep everything straight. Like, he has a doctor, you get this. And so I guess that would be like some kind of organizing app or help.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Specific to
Not
Yeah,
so
that's one of
the other because a lot of the answers were
I think
Trying to
yours is-
switch
or
over.
to go back to work.
Right, that's
And
part
that
of the
was
conversation.
yeah. It's like no, I want someone
Right.
to do this so I can go to work. Like no,
Exactly.
you're a
Yeah.
stay-at-home mom. So
Exactly. And I just want to preface by saying, Molly is not a fully stay-at-home mom. She's a mom who's
Yeah.
working part-time.
but she still wanted something that would help her as a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, because
Not so she can go to work. It was
And now
like
we have
and you hit it on the head actually because you said with the scheduling of the child. So it's always still about the mom and the mom aspect, not
yes,
the job and the work aspect. We're trying to get back to her.
definitely.
We have our answer.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
I told you to stay before you.
Yeah.
There was a lot of discussion. Lots.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. But I want to thank all of you for coming and for watching the season. Everyone who watched the entire season, because I know there are a few people. I know there are a few people in my family who have definitely watched all episodes and were very opinionated about it. And everyone who left comments and just kept going consistently. And to the contestants, thank you all for giving your best every single time that you came, because it always made it very hard for us to figure out, okay, who's going to win, which is part of the reason why it took us, 3 or 4 episodes before we finally eliminated somebody. And my frustration when I was like, okay, look, we can't have 5
We were just as frustrated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
I'm
Nobody's going home.
I'm sure.
Yeah, we were like, I think we're all staying.
We were like, we were at one point, like, we were just like, all right, you know what? Somebody has to go home. But we were just so fed up. We were like, okay, this is going to go on to like 20 episodes.
Right, I was like, no, we were really like, so how many episodes are we doing this?
But to just all honesty,
It was hard.
Justin was a true representation of kind of starting out as the underdog and then actually coming and winning the whole thing. Because I'm sure you probably thought as well that you were probably on the bottom, at the lowest of the first round. You were at the bottom of the totem pole, and you somehow took all that you learned in that episode and you like rejudged yourself and you came out on top. Which goes back to what I said about unmentionable. It's like you never quit. You just lean forward into it, and you continue to go and pick yourself back up. And you see it worked out for you. And you probably was one of the most frazzled in the beginning and kind of all over the place. And to your point, your anxiety, but you overcame all of that and you won, so it's just a testament of, if you stick into it and you stick with it, it'll definitely pay off.
Well, that was kind of like when Molly and Sean had 10 minutes to do. Was it like 10 minutes? I think it was like 10 minutes, or it was like 15 minutes. And Sean kept saying, "We only have 15 minutes," and you all won.
Yeah, because I didn't talk. I just did the design, and then Sean presented it. So that's why it worked out. And then that was like the biggest wake up call of all. And I was like, wow, I do a lot better just not talking. So sad.
But you know what? That is also a testament to when you guys get to the point where you are building your teams, whoever that team is, and the team could be your mom or your husband, your spouse, whoever is just going to like take care of something for you that you aren't that great at, or as good at, and you want to like tap into those people who, yes, I can negotiate and I try to get myself on the phone and talk to whoever, but I already know, like, my husband can charm the pants off of anybody. So I'm just like, just let him do it, And so for all of you, I know that we are still encouraging you, which you still need to do. I mean, and I can see that you've gotten more confident in what you're saying. And because it is your brand, you are going to still have to be the face of it and the one who's always talking. But, maybe there are other times where you can get somebody else to take care of whatever, so that you can be in your zone of genius and design and do all the things that only Molly can do, or only Justin can do, only PM can do. And so I encourage all of you to really lean into whatever that is, whatever you really, really love to do. And all these other things that we're talking to you about, you should definitely embody them. You should definitely take them. You should definitely practice them. But real talk, the minute that you can get somebody else to take over all those things that you don't want to do, get someone to do it, But anyway, I was saying goodbye to everyone and thanking all of you for participating, and thank you for coming back and being a part of this. Thank you to the judges for coming back and being a part of this for each season, because I know that all of you, including like Devon and Natasha, everybody is really, really, really busy. And I really appreciate you coming onto the show. And in addition, after the show, making time for the contestants. So thank you for that. And thank you to everyone who has watched. And I think that's all we have to say. Does anybody have anything else that they want to say?
I was just going to say that even though the challenges were challenging, I hope that you guys take away from that, and everyone will take away from that, is that it's really a pressure cooker so that we can see what's really inside of you, what's really your signature. And once you hone in on that, you can hire people for the rest of the stuff.
Yeah. And I was thinking the other week, and I was like, I used to talk about how Project Runway, and they get like a day or something to come up with something. And I'm like, this is unrealistic. But it's actually not that unrealistic, because there have been many times that I've had to like come up with something, or like at the end of the day, 5:30, somebody's coming to you and saying, by the way, we're going to need blah, blah, blah tomorrow. And you're like, okay. And you just perform. And I think that you all get to learn about yourself, that if you need to, you can do it. You can perform at the drop of a hat. And not that you want to always be putting yourself under that pressure, But if you need to, you can get there.
As my father always said, diamonds are made by pressure.
Yeah, for sure,
There you go.
for sure. So I'm going to say goodnight. We are all going to say goodnight. Thank you again, and stay tuned for season 3, which is coming in several months. And if you do want to apply to be on the show, there is a link in the chat. There's a link on all of the shows, the episodes. So yeah, we would love to see you and see what you got and have you on the show. Bye.
You gonna end it or not?
Oh, well, you will push your buttons.
That's a perfect ending.
Perfect.